Okay, we're going to start polishing on the hood. We've got one of those glass candle holders. I've cleaned that out because stuff gets dusty, and the last thing you want to do is a weird piece of dust to scratch up your surface. So we need a little bit of water, clean water in a clean dish for wet sanding. Then we want to get rid of these 3 Q-tips. What a mess this place has become. So here's how I store some of my sandpaper. I cut it into a size to fit inside this large pill container, and of course, as you can see, I've labeled them. I am going to start with 1500. And we're going to take this off of there. Okay, so we're going to have to be careful around A, edges, and B, stuff that is raised from the surface, because we'll sand through that real quick if we aren't careful. So I'm going to start like right here and just start to get a feel for it. So what I'm doing is, I guess I'll draw a picture. Should I draw a picture now? I guess I'll draw a picture now. You hang out in there. I don't know that we need a picture for this, but I feel like I'm in a drawly kind of mood, so. So anyhow, we have the surface, our plastic. There is the plastic. And on top of that, well, we sanded it a little bit. And we gave that shiny plastic a little bit of a tooth. Something for the primer to stick to. Of course, the primer's pretty bumpy too. Then over top of that, we've got our color. And over top of that, we've got about 3 or 4 layers. Not 3 or 4, it's 4 layers of clear lacquer. Now what we want to do is we want to remove these ridges, because whenever sunlight comes down and hits these ridges, it gets reflected there and there and then there and there and there and there and there and there and there, and we can see on the surface of this that, I mean, yeah, it's shiny, but we can see tiny little ridges and little mountains and valleys. So if our surface is flat, the light can only reflect off of it one way, and that's what makes it look shiny. So what we're going to do is we're going to sand down to this point here. We're going to sand until we don't see any shiny parts. Because when we sand, we're just taking off the top, right? And as it gets down to this point, it's all going to be a flat color. As we sand, it's going to take away the shininess and make it flat. Flat in reflectiveness, not in surface. So we cut it down below that so that it's flat, and we do not want to accidentally into the color, although we might not notice that, but we really don't want to down into the primer, and we really don't want to down into the plastic, because look, that would expose the white plastic and some primer on the edges of that, and oh my goodness. Okay, so that was probably more information than what anybody really needed, and I may have rambled a bit. See how that's getting flat? We got flat surface and shiny surface. We want to make it all flat, but we want to stop as soon as it's flat, because I don't want to bust through that clear layer. You bust through the clear into a color that's got metallic in it, and it goes weird. It doesn't want to. I mean, you'll be able to see it later on. It'll be an odd patch. And there's no need to go crazy with this. We're just taking off those high ridges, sinking them down into the valley. Oh, I forgot. It's always a good idea to smell it first before you start. If you can still smell the paint, don't mess with it. It's still too soft. It's still gassing out. It's still releasing its, evaporative chemicals. if that's even a word. It's still drying. It's releasing the stuff that evaporates in the paint that carries the pigment. And until it's completely evaporated, it could still be soft in some spots. And when you hit a soft spot, you'll know it because it'll feel like it's sticky, like someone had a price tag on there and they peeled it off and left a little bit of the sticky behind. There'll be some resistance. So we also have to keep in mind when we're doing these things, any craft really, you're only human. You can't make a perfect item. Maybe you've seen something that looks perfect to you. Most likely the person has only shown you perfect portions of that thing. So to get excited, maybe get upset that you've ruined something or done something wrong, is really just a waste of your time. Have fun doing what you're doing. If it don't look right and you want to do it over, certainly do it over, but not to make it perfect. Simply to make it improved, simply to improve it. I try to do something different on every model I do. At least I say that. I've got it in mind. I don't know that I actually do it. But I've got it in mind as something that I like to do, like to think about, like to talk about maybe.
Party!